What is up, guys? And today we're going to take this plain Jane ordinary white cup and transform it using some stencil tools, some masking tape, some vinyl I cut off on my plotter, and the airbrush. Don't always get to use the airbrush, but today this is going to be an awesome project and we're using this bad boy here. That being said, I'm going to throw a picture right here of the project we are doing. There you go, and let's get started. So I've already masked, the rim, because I don't like stuff getting on the inside. And I've prepped it with the 600 grit sandpaper and then a Scotch-Brite to get all the intricate areas. And I started laying my stencil. This first one is a hand holding a rose, as you remember from the picture you've seen before. That's how it's going. So I laid it on my white base, and I'm going to pull this off. And what you're left with is painting the background. Now, if you remember, the background in the picture is very dark, and I just took that image that you saw, put it on my phone, and I redrew the contour edges and made a stencil, sent it to the old Cricut, and cut it out whatever size I wanted it to be. I think this is like 5.5 inches tall. I'm not sure, doesn't matter. Let's put on the other side and I'll show you. Okay, now that we have our stencils on, we are ready to paint the background, and you can use whatever method you want. If you like to brush it on with a paintbrush and acrylic paint, or whatever kind of paint you like to use, or you can use spray cans and I'm going to use the airbrush, and I'm going to use this tool right here to give me some like real grungy effects. It'll be cool. Like I said, it's really whatever you want to do, open to interpretation. Do it however you want to do for your project you're doing. So let's go.
Now, I don't know how loud this is going to be, and I have my respirator on because of the spray. So you may be listening to music, or I may just do a time lapse, but I'm going to show you real quick what we're working with here with a stencil. Point and shoot, that's basically it. So you're left with cool stuff like that. Of course, we're going to blend it in to make it swirly to look more like the thing. But the main thing I want to do, because the next step I'm going to use water-based paint. Hold on a second. For when I take the stencil off, I'm going to be using water-based paint, and it's transparent. That's the key to doing it really simply like this. And the reason I'm doing that is because this is left white. The thing I want to do is make this edge really dark, mostly black, so that when I lay my transparent paints on here and it goes over the edge, you won't even see it because you can't see transparent over black. So that's the key for this stencil type method here. Or if you want to and you're hand painting, you can just go in and hand paint it afterwards. It's no big deal. Like I said, this is just a technique, a different way to show you guys how to do stuff with stencils and pictures. A lot of you might be limited because you just don't know how to attack a project like this, and this will show you how. So there we go. Let's speed it up a little bit and get to going. Okay, now I want to show you guys how I faded around the edges, and right now it doesn't look anything like the picture. Don't worry about it. The more layers of texture that you do, the deeper and cooler the effect looks. You can always go darker. You can technically go lighter because I got white right there, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm just using black and white for this, but I wanted you to see, I'm going to airbrush around the edges. It might be hard to see on the camera, but I'm going to darken up the edges, and I just thought you might see the cool, just freehand work to go around there. It's really the most simple and basic, but then I'm going to show you another cool texture technique using water and this paint. Now, this paint is not water-based that I have in here. This is actually urethane, which I I think the only place you can get that is an automotive store, and it's okay to use on this. Your lips won't be touching it. It'll be sealed with the food grade epoxy resin. But this stuff, I just like using it because I love the way it flows out. I'm used to using it. And if you were going to do the same technique with water-based paint, where I use water, you would use like, I think Windex works the same. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. It is really hard to hold this the right way and show you guys. And of course it's going to be blown out a little bit more. We're going to fade it out like so. A lot of this is going to be black. I'll probably do black around the rim just to be cool, just because I like that look. But we're going to add a lot more texture in just a minute. But I wanted to get around this hand here. And you don't have to be too careful. Get in between those fingers. I cut those out to give me registration marks to know where my fingers were going to be when I was airbrushing. Now I'll probably just, all this will probably end up being black down here anyway, so it's not a big deal. So I just had a shadow around here, just so I know when I pull my stencil off, my transparent paint will not be seen over this black. So it'll look like you're super awesome and you can stand the line super good, but really it's just technique. It's all technique here on this part. So let's get back moving with our textures. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn that off for a minute, but what I'm going to do, get my water bottle and I'm just going to mist water all around it. And then this is going to act as a shield. See where it's still wet where I touched it, no big deal. We'll go back and touch that up. So now we're just going to spray black all over it. My hand may be in the way, the shadow and all. Spray some more water. See the water moving around? It gives it a cool stencil effect. Really grungy look, really kind of organic. Okay, I dropped my camera. I'm not sure which way you're facing. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to drop you. I care about you. But let me put my camera back on and we'll get back to it. Okay? Okay, we're back. My water bottle knocked my camera off the tripod. And we're just going to keep moving around with water and this guy. And give it a real grungy look. It'll be cool. See how that's giving that effect like we had in the picture? I did it again. I'll be darned. I can't quit dropping my water bottle. What is going on with you, water bottle? So that's okay. It's runny, it's cool looking, and just keep going around till you, well, in my case, I'm looking to get that same effect that you see in the picture. It doesn't have to be exact. It doesn't have to be perfect, you know. So I'm going to keep messing around with this. No reason for you to watch me do it. Another thing you can do is while it's still wet, you can take a paper towel and blot it off too, which would give it another thing. Instead of waiting for the paint to dry, and it just does a cool effect there. So either way, however you want to do it, we're just going to keep on moving keep on blending it in. Now it'll wipe off on this stencil, of course. But dadgum water bottle. Seriously, bro? Okay, anyway, we're just gonna keep on moving. This might even get edited out. I don't know. Let's go. Here's a little tip for geniuses like me. See that right there? Make sure you don't get your alcohol bottle mixed up with your water bottle, which is what we're supposed to be using, not alcohol. Get out of here. All right, back to the show.
All right, take. All right, I am really happy with the way this turned out. If you see the real light grays, and it's probably, there we go, not showing up on camera as much as it does in person, the difference in the values, and it, like that right there, I am really happy with that. I feel like it looks a lot like the picture that we were going for, that I was going for. You're probably not doing this, but I did the water technique, the freehand shield, which I love these things. These things are amazing. Point and spray, also called point and shoot. They really make quick work. And for these words here, the parts are going to be red. I made sure I put a little good bit of black behind it, like this section right here is going to be red. That way when I lay my red, you won't see it because it'll lay on the black because it's transparent. And then I'm going to do my freehand in here. With the shading, I'm going to use black first, and then I'm just going to lay in the red in the few spots, and then we're done. The freehand part is what's going to be the most challenging. And like I said, if you're not a freehand artist, you don't have to do this stuff. You just do what applies to you and your project, but it makes it to where you can actually probably do a little more things than you used to been doing, because learning techniques and different ways of doing stuff is what it's all about. You always got to be learning and figure out how you can apply what you've seen to what you're doing. So cool. Let's get to pulling this off and then spraying with the airbrush. Now the best way to remove this is, there's no best way, just the best way you know how. It's going to come off in pieces, which I'm not a fan of. But I did take the little pieces like the fingernails and the back of the hand and the bottom of the stem from my registration marks, really lightly dusted that with the black. Really, I mean, barely dusted it. You'll see. I'm going to go ahead and take all this off because you don't want to watch me do that on camera. It's going to be kind of boring, and it's probably going to aggravate me a little bit trying to get all these little pieces off. See there? That's how, I mean, it's a good thing and bad thing about using mask vinyl stencils. Now this one's coming off pretty decent. I mean, look at that. So you can see what we got. You can see my fingernails, see how it worked. That'll give me just enough detail to go in with my freehand. And you see I got some residue here. If you have that happen with take your same vinyl and stick it on there, and you'll pull the glue residue right off. Or you can use, like, if you're using urethane paint, you can use mineral spirits or water base. I've had success with both, but yeah, I'm going to take off the rose and take off this on the back, and we'll be back. Get off me. Alright, so as you saw, I got this off, and on the back side I got this off. The best way, I took my glove off because the best way to do it is just get your little fingernail under there. Now if you use a razor blade, it's always been sketchy for me because I usually scratch it, but with the fingernail it's a lot softer, and to me it just works better. You try what works for you, might not work for me. Okay? Okay. So anyway, I left this on because this is going to stay white. This says Hades and then the Myth. So this is going to be red. When I spray this red, it won't get on that. When I'm done with that, I'll pull that off. But I went ahead and pulled this off because I'm going to do the freehanding with the black and then the detailing. I'll just spray this red when I do this and then pull that off, and then that will pretty much be it. We'll stick it on the old turner here and resin it. So let's just see this happen. Okay, let's just paint a hand. Okay, It's not as hard as you think, really. It's just, you think about too much and just paint what you see. A few little details will make all the differences. You'll see. Alright, for some finishing touches I added just a little bit of orange. Now I went a little heavy with my transparent. The more layers you put, the darker it gets, blah blah blah. So you see a little bit of a halo around it. I don't think that's an issue. It's still pretty black. The hand came out sick. I might even take some black at the very bottom where you can still see it and really fade that in. I think I need to do a little bit more right here on the stem. And the back, I gotta pull this masking off, so that's just white. Got really heavy over here because I don't know what happened. You can see a little glow around it, but it's like, maybe it's like it's in neon lights, who knows. Doesn't worry me from here. And when you get this word white popping out, it's gonna look killer. I'll probably take and dust over the letters to make it match, because nothing is white on here. The hand came out really cool, really freehanding stuff. It's not really that hard. It's just a few small little details that make it realistic looking. A lot of people go overboard, and that's when they lose the realism. So I'm happy. Let's put this on the resiner thingy, twirly mabobber, and I painted the bottom black too. So, oh, got some glitter on it. We'll go figure. Glitter's everywhere, but let's put this thing on the resin and see what it looks like.